This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Good morning. And you can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and do the numbers this morning. They are brought to you by I Trust Capital. Guys, you can now transfer your crypto IRA directly into your I Trust Capital account. They are the best deal going for a crypto IRA. And I do want to let you know as well, you can now get a gold crypto IRA as well with I Trust Capital. And it's only $50 over spot. You're not going to find that anywhere. So make sure you reach out to them. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. Bitcoin this morning is $10,490.47. Ethereum, $339.81. XRP is 23 cents. Let's drill down on the numbers. 0.2327. Market cap is $10.4 billion. We're up about 0.3%, and we're looking at 24-hour volume here of 1.3 billion. Total circulating supply, which recently changed, is now up to 45 billion, 97 million plus. Those are your numbers. Okay. We're going to discuss some crypto XRP news, and it's pretty interesting because we're going to find out what asset is actually beating gold as an investment out here in the market. Now, that's pretty remarkable, understanding how long gold has been revered as money and value on this planet. We're going to take a look at that and some news that spreads across the crypto space. And I think it's time that we do a video like this where we make sure that we catch all these little pieces that ain't so little and bring them all together so we're all up to speed at what's happening in the market today. So let's go ahead and get into this. So this one is from XHOW RIP. And thank you, Manny, the Stellar Development Foundation put in $550,000 as a strategic investment towards Satoshi Pays. Satoshi Pays launches D-Transfer for quick cross-border payments. Now, that is interesting because we want to keep an eye on that and see how that develops, because there are some things you need to pay attention to when it comes to Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin will have a long life in this space, but it certainly, when it comes to governments and regulators, it does not get a lot of fanfare. So I don't think it's going away, but I do believe that it has some issues, whether you're an investor or whether you're a regulator, you want to pay attention to. Percentage of world using Bitcoin equals the entire internet usage in 1995. Okay, so this asset, however valuable, and it's valuable, and that's not financial advice, but I'm just saying that you need to be aware that it's not very green. And how are they going to address this issue as Bitcoin continues to grow? That'll be a big thing to pay attention to, and to understand at the same time, the large players in this space like Barry Silbert are really deeply vested into Bitcoin and the investment funds for that. Here he highlights Bitcoin mining company headquartered in Rochester looking to invest $100 million. Bitcoin has been on the rise for the past few years, and now a Bitcoin mining company is headquartered right here in Rochester. Now, listen, when I look at Barry Silbert and the Mike Novogratzes out here, and even Michael Arrington as a venture capitalist, I know that they're long on Bitcoin. And when I got into this space in the very beginning, I said to myself, again, not financial advice, just sharing my personal journey and thoughts on some of this, my perspectives, right? And I thought one of my main core tenets to investing was that I would study the market thoroughly and I would begin to start stacking my pennies next to the largest players in this space, dollars. When I see things like this, regardless of the carbon footprint that Bitcoin currently has and the transaction fees and the length of time for settlement, those issues, I still see a huge upside because I still see the largest investors in the world pushing behind that asset. So that's one of my perspectives right there. Okay, let's keep going here because we also want to take a look at the idea of the Lightning Network, which was to be like the answer to Bitcoin and the slow settlement time and the high transaction fees to a great degree. Here we see from XRP, Bitcoin's Lightning Network could be exploited according to independent developer Josh Jagger, saying that Lightning is great, but can't say it is battle tested. If script kids would be interested, they could take down those shiny new 5 BTC. And it looks like a challenge, right? Channels with negligible cost and no effort at all. That is something that, and again, what I'm trying to show here is just a level of awareness of a pro and con that's being talked about in the regular everyday news here, just as far as Bitcoin's concerned. And we're going to change gears here. Ripple, this is from XRP. Ripple partner Finestra and Consensus trial new microfinance initiative. The initiative, called Trust Machine in Kenya, Africa, focuses on eliminating the funding gap for SME and create 50,000 new jobs. 50,000 new jobs. Now, again, when I look at Ripple and the token XRP, which is separate from the blockchain infrastructure company that they're talking about here, right? Ripple. And see that they're partnered with Finestra and Consensus. I think we all understand the depth and relationships that Ripple has with a lot of these enormous players around the world. And I think we all understand, and if you don't, I want to make the clarity right now. We're talked about Bitcoin, its successes, and some of the concerns as it continues to grow and develop. We're going to talk about Ethereum here in a second for a bit too. I want you to keep in mind that Bitcoin and Ethereum have both already gotten a pass. They've gotten their classification. So they're out there off to the races. XRP has yet to get the clarity that Bitcoin and Ethereum have. Hence, why we're still at 24 cents. Keep that in mind as we move through this material, because I know a lot of people are so frustrated because the price has been stuck or falling and this, that, and the other. And this market is so young. It's not even $1 trillion market as a whole in the crypto space yet. We don't even have price discovery in this space, truly in this space, or on the asset XRP. All of these things have to happen in order to see the market truly take flight. We have to have price discovery on the asset. We don't have it. When you hear someone who's frustrated about price or why is the price not moving, and we hear all this good news, just remind each other that, listen, we don't even have proper price discovery on the asset yet. We don't have the proper price feed to get the proper price discovery, even though NASDAQ's carrying the liquid index and things that eventually will all tie in back to that. It's remarkable to me how early we are in this entire space, let alone XRP. But just keep that in mind, that it does not have a classification the way Bitcoin and Ethereum does. So let's keep moving through the material here. Temenos makes 90-second onboarding pledge. Now this is exciting. The simplicity and unparalleled speed of Temenos onboarding process, combined with KYC and AML checks, help banks and credit unions increase conversion rates and drastically reduce operating cost. Temenos Infinity is the leading SaaS omni-channel digital banking product covering customer engagement from acquisition to account servicing. through long-term retention. The solution will be demoed today during Temenos' leading digital event, Synergy Online on September 23rd. And it goes through and explains the rest of it. But you get the gist. They're working now. The banking software company today announced that Temenos Infinity now offers a real-time end-to-end account opening and onboarding digital experience in just seconds. The account is fully funded and ready for customer use. Now, for those that may not be aware, you may be new to the space, this is a shout out to Bank XRP, who I believe is taking a break in the space. Hope they're doing well. This is a demo from back in 2016 that clearly shows you that Temenos, through Blue Zelle Altitude, and then Ripple Payments Network directly in the middle of it, Temenos has been tied in and dealing with, and Deloitte, and all of this is tied in with Ripple to its deepest connection. There's at its core, right? They are connected at their core. There's no question. And to me, when you look at the price being at 24 cents, I like to look at things like this and say, hey, they're still building market infrastructure. They're still waiting for the clarity on what the designation of XRP is. Utility token, currency, utility token that works as a currency. I don't care what they call it, just as long as they get out here and they use it with all of these things that Ripple has worked hard to build the market infrastructure for, so it can be used at all. Okay, moving on. Let's keep this moving here. So then we move into XRP Crypto Wolf. Shout out to you. South Africa's Standard Bank joined R3's Contour Trade Finance. The network claims that through digitization, it can improve processing times by up to 90%. Standard Bank is also a member of R3's Marco Polo Trade Finance. We've talked about this. I've been a global importer for years, and, I can tell you firsthand the pain points of dealing with importing goods globally and having them made and the whole bit shipped all across the world. And let me tell you, for them to be able to claim and tell you, their customers, that they can cut the time down on processing by 90%. Imagine if it takes 10 minutes, now it's 1, right? I mean, this is remarkable what they're talking about here. The efficiency on an immutable ledger on these platforms. I want to remind everybody here that R3 has the Quarter platform that they use to allow customers to build on that platform, which gives them access to the Quarter settler. Much will work the same for the trade finance and Marco Polo. Marco Polo is one of the people from R3 that saw the need to get into the trade finance and designed and built Marco Polo off of R3. So it's all a tight circle of people that are working together. Both Corda and Ripple are open source blockchain platforms with a focus on serving enterprise businesses. Therefore, it makes sense that Corda selected XRP, the globally recognized cryptocurrency, as the first and only supported cryptocurrency for the settlement on the platform, the Corda settler. Just want to remind everybody of that. It's all coming. We just need that classification and that clarity, and then they're going to begin using everything that you're seeing that has been built. And here's another piece of evidence of that from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple SBI Holdings, PayPal, and KPMG participated in a private pre-release of BRD's new blockset technology. BRD, Ripple, and SBI, Adam Trademan, shout out to Adam Trademan. All of this is tied in so you can have blockchain compliance for cryptocurrency companies, financial institutions, and government agencies. Now, do you think Ripple would be involved in this if XRP didn't even have a chance of being used? Do you think Ripple would even be involved in such a thing? Well, of course it's going to be used. And it's going to be used by the entities they're talking about here, companies and financial institutions and government agencies. I mean, this is the level of why I personally believe XRP has been held back for so long. Let's keep this going, because then we go to Julia Chatterley and we get a real taste of what it's like in the traditional world in the legacy systems. The world's biggest banks flagged $2 trillion worth of transactions as suspicious activity or suspicious behavior. Listen to the first 30 seconds here. Let's watch this.
European stocks falling, as we've mentioned, as Christine was talking about there. Shares of major banks dropping amid money laundering allegations. It's based on leaked suspicious activity reports filed by banks themselves to the US Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So we're talking Deutsche Bank, Standard Chartered, Barclays, HSBC, as well as several US banks, all named in the documents first obtained by BuzzFeed. Anna Stewart has all the details. Anna, you get all the easy jobs on this show.
There you have it. And we're talking about to the tune of $2 trillion worth of transactions and suspicious behavior. It goes on to discuss, that some of these things were flagged, but it took a long time for the banks to flag those suspicious activity or behavior. And there's a question through all of that. FinCEN is digging down into every bit of it. Again, moving to a new financial system, not a revamped one, a brand new one. That's why Ripple has been playing the long game and connecting with some of these names that you see, so all of this can go away. Because the reality is that you're not going to be able to pull this off to the tune of $2 trillion in my eyes with this new system that is a math-based immutable ledger that really ends up becoming an asset-backed system. Let's keep it going. Then we see, because of things like CipherTrace and Chainalysis, cryptocurrency intelligence creates transaction transparency, which delivers accountability to help prevent the level of mass international financial crime. Our blockchain analytics enable financial investigators to follow the money. That's what this is about. When we look at what Julia Chatterley just talked about, and we've covered the articles over the last couple of days of all of this activity and FinCEN drilling down on this. This is what it's about. This, I believe, is what a lot of the struggle is about. Imagine how many bad actors out here in the financial system, because the funny thing is they love to talk about all the bad actors that use Bitcoin for illegal transactions and cryptocurrencies in general. But the reality is the real bad actors are working to the tune of $2 trillion, and they're in banks. Come on in. So this is great when you see this, because ultimately I think it's going to be a tipping point where they will have no choice but to get onto the new system, because you cannot fight the innovation of this technology. There's no question. Okay, then moving on here, this goes out to Michael Val 5 links. New research from Evertas shows that a surveyed group of investors managing roughly $78 billion in collective assets believes that during the next 5 years, institutional investors will dramatically increase their crypto asset holdings. Yep. This is what I want to see right here, right? This is what I want to see right here, because to me, the institutional investor comes into this space, and you will absolutely know that for them to get into this space and be heavily vested here, it will be because we have the regulatory clarity all the way around, the framework in place that makes them feel good enough to put their clients' money into this space. That to me is very exciting. And to build on that news, we look here from XRP, cryptocurrencies beating gold as top asset this year. Go cryptocurrencies. Gold. Biblical money. Cryptocurrencies beating gold as top asset this year. Now let's take a look at what it says, because we're going to get into some Ethereum talk here. It talks about increased adoption of decentralized finance, or DeFi. has driven the climb in Ethereum, which appears to be maintaining its platform leadership status in the sector. Aside from DeFi, proponents of digital currencies such as Bitcoin argues they offer a store of value amid concern huge stimulus injections to counter the pandemic will stoke inflation and weaken the dollar. Well said. A cryptocurrency mania known as decentralized finance has helped turn digital currencies into this year's best performing asset by far. It goes on to give some stats and break that down, but what I want to get to is the understanding of this down here. Overall, investor interest in cryptocurrencies is broadening as derivatives markets for Bitcoin and Ethereum expand. Just like I said, the investment fund we talked about with Barry Silbert, we saw the recent release of a NASDAQ SEC ETF in some other area, and it's escaping me right now. That's going to be launched, and that is exciting. But I want to go back to Ethereum for a second here, because one of the things I want to say is the DeFi, and Ethereum is crushing the space in DeFi at the moment. But one thing I do want to say, because this is incredible that people are learning what they can do with their assets. They can lend them, they can lock them up and borrow against them. This is they don't need any other permission. There's a couple things I want to point out here. One is, if you are considering borrowing against your own assets in this young market, knowing we don't have price discovery, right? Knowing we don't have clarity on what XRP is, you better know what you're doing, because that is a great way to lose your investment and get liquidated. Because in these DeFi platforms, if you don't have enough put up against what you've borrowed and the price goes down, they're going to liquidate you to settle the score. And it's because it's decentralized. You're not like going to get an email in a few days to respond. It's just going to happen. And then you're going to be very sour about all of that. So, and that has happened quite a few times in this bear market leading up to where we're coming, which I think we're moving into a bull market, no question. The table's being set for it. But at the end of the day, if you're going to borrow against your DeFi, you better know what you're doing and the position you're taking, and you better over leverage like crazy, and you better know you can trust that DeFi platform. The other thing I'll say to this is that, with DeFi, there's going to come a day, I believe, because DeFi currently right now, and the developers for DeFi right now will tell you that they work on developing a decentralized finance platform. They don't think about what regulators worry about. And that's why currently right now you see Brian Kerr, Kava Labs, and them working with exchanges like Binance, because Binance will offer it as a drop-down feature once you're a customer, which means it's on the back of Binance to KYC, AML, and really get you straightened out with the regulator side, and then you could participate in that decentralized finance platform. However, looking forward down the road, there's going to come a day, I believe, where regulators are going to have to address DeFi directly, because the ultimate DeFi situation is where there is no Binance between you and the platform, and you just literally go in and use the platform. And I believe that is where we're going to see potentially another ICO-like crushing moment, where there has got to be some accountability and ability for regulators to monitor these DeFi platforms so people are not taken for everything that they have. And whether that turns out to be a node on the network or built-in compliance and governance, I don't know. But I just know going forward, as this develops, there's going to be a push, because of the surge that this has done for crypto, that DeFi will want to be a standalone direct option between you and the DeFi platform. And I think at that point, you're going to see something take place with regulators. I'll be shocked if it doesn't. So, okay. Right there, that's going to do it for me, guys. Crypto is outpacing gold as the top asset to invest in this year. Not financial advice, but I tell you something, it is remarkable to hear that in a sentence and to see that talked about, and to know that DeFi is a huge catalyst to that being the case. So Things are changing every day, everybody. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, hit the comment, leave some comments below, and share with somebody you know. I will catch all of you on the next one.